let me show you how my corn harvest season's been going. And just adds to the year that I've been having. Anybody know what it is yet? Any clues there? How about here? Yep, there it is. Son of a gun. Straw walker broke. Yep, not fun. Not fun at all. And she's out. Looks like, ooh, things are sharp. Yeah, just seeing the rub marks on this thing, it looks like it was kind of a long time coming. Very concerned. Oh boy. Not good. Okay, a little update on how corn harvest is going. Update, it's not going very good. Old 4400 has decided to give me a bunch of trouble this year. I know you just saw that the straw walker broke, so I just finished getting everything back together. This has been, oh wow, a huge job. Did it all by myself. Normally I'd have my mechanic do it, but decided to save some money and do it all myself. So pretty deep in this project. I saved probably saved close to $1,500 doing it myself. A lot of aggravation, but I'll show you guys what I did. So this is a new walker here that I got out of a parts combine. Well, both of these are. And what I'm working on now is I put everything in, and that tooth, or whatever you want to call it, is rubbing against that. I've bent that back, and I'm going to bend that one back, and hopefully that'll be good to go. But yep, so I got this in, and to get the walker out you have to take this off. So I got those 8 or 10 bolts or whatever and pulled that out, and got these put back in. You can see there's a little bit of surface rust on them. I had to get them out of a parts combine that was literally trees growing up through it, but overall I think it's okay. They're in, I'd say, okay shape. I wouldn't say they're like perfect, but everything else looks pretty good. While I was down and waiting, I actually did a lot of calling around to try to find these walkers, and I could find them in the Midwest, but the truck ship them here was about $800 a walker. So they were going to be, for, you know, just for 2 walkers, it's going to be a little over $2,000. I ended up finding these for $300 a piece. Well, in that process of me trying to find these walkers, I mean, I literally for 2 weeks just couldn't find any, and I'd almost got to the point where, you know, I'm just going to spend the $2,200 or whatever. I decided to go ahead and change the bearings on the shoe augers. Awful idea. I think, you know, they were still turning, but the bearings were, 2 of them were in really rough shape, and you could see maybe at some point they even had maybe stopped, because these 2 here had a little more junk in them than like these 2. But anyways, I think me and my dad changed these when I first got the combine. I don't really remember, to be honest, but I didn't really know exactly what to do. So I took these off, dropped this down, and disconnected from the front, pulled this straight back, and then up front here, get you some corn. Up front here, I was able to get this in without having to take this cross shaft off, which was huge because that would have been a big pain in the butt. I don't know, maybe I didn't do it right, but it was a huge job. I honestly hated it. It's hard working under here, but everything is back. I had to replace one of these gears. It was like chipped off a little bit, so I think that's really, the bearing was okay, but I think this one wasn't maybe turning all the time because that gear wasn't quite making contact right. It was chipped off. So yeah, that's that. A lot of work going into that. And I'd also noticed that I had lost this chain here that runs the unload auger, the 3 short ones, and it connects right there. So I got that put on. Yes, the chain had fallen off somewhere in the field. I got that out of the parts combine. He sold it to me for $10. So yeah, that's enough of this. Hopefully that's all the mechanicing I got to do. It's not fun. I enjoy doing simple mechanic work, and to be honest, it's really not that hard, but the problem is here. You got a I got a pipe wrench, and I turned that to where this would come up so I could get my hand in here. Very little clearance though, to where I could get my hands in there, and then the bearing blocks are like right here, so it's kind of hard to, with this right here being in the way, you have to lay right here on your back and turn and try to get your hands in there to get those things tightened. That one's even worse. So hard. This door really should have been a lot bigger. I mean, come on, like, this door's tiny, but that's what I got going on. It's fixed. So I'm about to go to the field. I'm waiting for one more part to come in. Fired it up and was gonna set it. Should have never parked this under a pine tree while I was working on it, but I was getting ready to adjust the cylinder speed and noticed that I'm missing the O-ring or belt or whatever it is that runs the tachometer. So I'm waiting for that to come in and we'll get back to running. So it's early November here, and it is 82 degrees today. Unbelievable. So let's get it. Okay, here we are from the combine cab. It's December 20th. Without sounding too negative, I mean, it's been a pretty terrible year. But yes, I'm still working on corn. As you can see, this corn got destroyed. We've had a fair amount of rain, which has been a little rough on it. But hogs and deer have basically wiped this field out. I'm about full now. The sample's pretty clean, but this sucks. I mean, I'm blessed to even have something to harvest, but this is frustrating. They have tore it up. I did the topsoil side of this field before the straw walker, well, after the straw walkers were fixed. And then I had another breakdown. I've had, I think, 5 this fall. And they're just such a pain because John Deere doesn't really make a lot of parts for this machine anymore. So I've had to, it's just been hard to get parts, and you got to wait on parts to get here. And then it started raining every other day. It's just been a mess. But I don't know, this is pretty bad corn right here. Some of these ears are just, I don't know, they're tiny. Bunch of sickle pod out here. Corn on the ground from deer and hogs. I got on them last night. We killed 3. There was probably 30 out here, and we got them out of the field, but I'm about positive they came back. And on any given night in the past month, you can come out here and there was anywhere between 12 and 20 deer. So you're not going to have corn very long with that kind of wildlife pressure. This corn was never really good to begin with, but it's probably yielding half of what it should based on just losses. This is like about 20 bushel of the acre corn right here. It would have been about 50, maybe a little less than 50 probably. This is the late corn that I planted first week of June. And it didn't go through as much dry weather as the other corn, but this is the corn that didn't receive much fertilizer due to me having the health problems. But hey, it is what it is. I got a crop to harvest here. I don't have a lot in this crop, but at the same time, I don't know how it's gonna. Might make a dab of money on it. I don't know. Combine's just been a nightmare this year. It's just been a nightmare. Lots of little stuff. A couple big problems, but I'd say the biggest problem overall is just getting the parts I needed, quick enough to get back running, and then the weather. I think we about full. Yep, better stop here. And we're full. Beautiful looking corn. Alright, it's the day after Christmas. Running corn. It's actually doing okay, I guess. This is the top part of the field, really sandy up here. But the bottom part, I thought, was doing pretty good. No deer damage in this field because it's right here by the farm, by the house. So the deer don't feel comfortable coming out here, so I guess that's a plus. Let's see, last night was 20 degrees, night before was 12. 12 degrees is as cold as it's been here, I think, in 20-something years. 22 years, I think. I think the wind chill was -3. I don't think I've ever felt -3, so it's pretty cool to go outside and see how cold it was. I don't mind the cold, I actually really like it. with this corn head, it is done, knock on wood, it's done phenomenal. It's done great. I like this high 10. You save so many ears. And then I've got the little, or it's got the, I guess you call, I don't know what you call them, ear savers, I think, the little rubber things down there. Those have been huge. I can't believe how many ears they actually save. Like, it's pretty crazy. So I'm very satisfied with this head. Very satisfied.